How do I brew a really good cup of coffee without breaking the bank and my back on the trail? Oh yeah, that's incredible. I've had way too much coffee. Hey, and welcome back to Barefoot Behavior, your go-to guide for making the most out of your backcountry experiences. Today we're covering a vital topic for all you coffee lovers out there: how to brew coffee on the trail. So grab your gear and let's brew some coffee. Grab your gear and let's brew some adventure. Grab your gear and let's brew some Joe. We've been brewing coffee on the trail ever since we started backpacking. And if you're new to backpacking, I'm sure you're wondering, hey, how do I brew a really good cup of coffee on the trail? So we've got some tried and true methods that are trail tested. We've also picked up quite a few options that we've never tried before. So today's going to be a little bit of an experiment. We're going to try them out, we're going to test them, and we are going to make the best cup of coffee that we possibly can here on the trail.
First things first, you need to have a method to heat your water. I'm not going to go into any depth here. I like to use a Jetboil. It's compact and everything can fit right inside of the container. Simply screw on your fuel, attach the legs for safety, attach your container to the stove, and voila, you're ready. This will set you back about $125. However, I've had mine for a little over 10 years now, and so overall, I'm a happy customer. But you can also heat your water with a standard hiking pot. This Sea to Summit Alpha Pot ran me about $55. The handle is a bit finicky, however, it has served me well on multiple trips. Mr. Hikes a Lot here gave this pot a 3-star review and stated, "It doesn't fit the fuel canisters inside for storage, so it's a waste of space and sucks balls. Make it 2 inches taller." Mr. Hikes a Lot, they make it bigger. Just buy the pot you need. Now, since this isn't a pot review, let's move on quickly. Either way, you'll need a container, heat source and fuel to boil water for your coffee. I prefer a camp stove over a fire, simply for the efficiency of time and the fact that not all trails allow fires. But if you already have a roaring fire or hot coals, that's an option you could use as well.
All right, so we're hot. Color changed to yellow, which means we're ready to make coffee. So for option number 1, we're going to be making instant coffee. Now, this is something that I have definitely used before. It is your ultra light option. It is going to make a cup of coffee for you. Now, these have been sitting in my bag for a few years, so I don't know how good they're going to be any longer. But what you do is you take your coffee grounds, dump them in your cup of coffee. You have minimal waste. Make sure that you pack out your garbage, which is that. You can then take your water, go ahead, add it to your cup. Each packet makes a cup of coffee. If you really wanted to, you could add multiple packets to 1 cup of coffee and you can make it taste a little bit stronger. Take your spoon, stir it up, and you got a hot cup of coffee in just about how long it takes to boil water. It's actually not that bad. Instant coffee that actually tastes good kind of tells you what the public perception is of instant coffee. So also a really lightweight, fast option. If you're a coffee lover, maybe dirty chai latte isn't for you, but if you do want to just spice it up a little bit, it's also a great option. Ooh, that's good. Hey, so for category number 1, we have our instant mixes. These are going to be great options for backcountry camping if you want something that's really lightweight, takes up minimal space in your pack, is minimal effort, super quick. You know, if you're out and you're camping, it'll get the job done. Is it the tastiest cup of coffee? No. But is it something that when you're hiking and you make first thing in the morning? Yes, it's fantastic. Especially if you're on like day 6 of a backcountry trip, you're not even going to notice the difference. This is called the Coffee in a Tea Bag Summit Steeper. I've never tried these before. Coffee sits inside of a tea bag and you steep it just like you would a cup of tea. This is going to have a little bit of additional waste considering that you're not consuming the grounds, but that may be a benefit for some. Looks simple enough. Dunk, steep, sip. Let's give it a try. So we're gonna let that steep for 4 minutes, and while we do that, we're gonna prepare another method of coffee, the pour over in a bag. So this is actually pretty easy. The design was pretty seamless and user-friendly. So let's go ahead and give it a shot. I'm gonna be as dexterous as I possibly can be, and we're gonna see if I have the skills or ability to make this happen. Obviously this is gonna take a little bit longer than if I was doing an instant coffee, but not much longer. I just kind of have to tend to it. I'm not finding this too difficult. For those of you that like a morning coffee ritual, this could be something that really piques your interest. Let's go ahead and taste test the other coffee that we've been letting steep for a little while. Back to the steeper, Summit Steeper. This one we've been letting steep for about 4 or so minutes based on the instructions. We're gonna give this thing a taste test. It's not wildly higher quality to me than the instant coffee. It is a good cup of coffee though. Back to the pour over coffee. Let's go ahead and give this a shot. It smells like coffee. It has a nice coffee flavor. I love the little pour over packaging. By my assessment, this is probably the one that tastes the most like a cup of coffee that you would make at home in your kitchen. Yeah, this is a good one. So that does it for your disposable coffee options on the trail. Both make a decent cup of coffee. In my honest opinion, I would say that the Kuju had a little bit better flavor than the Summit Steeper, but this is just all subjective and will come down to your preference. At the end of the day, both taste like a pretty good cup of coffee. All right, so for the next category, we're gonna be doing pour overs. One of the things that you're gonna notice with the back pocket pour over is you're gonna need to pack filters. The Sea to Summit looks like it has its own filter contraption built right into it. Let's go ahead and give these two a shot. Woo-wee! We are overflowing. Clean up on aisle 3. I think I got a little excited. I made way too much coffee and it's going everywhere. It kind of poured through much faster than I would have thought it would. Maybe my grounds are a little bit too coarse. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start this one over. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna use some pre-ground grounds. I'm not gonna mess with the hand grinder anymore. We're gonna get some more water boiling. We're gonna pour it in. We're gonna give it another shot. We're gonna give it an honest shot so that we can try this thing. All right, so that was arguably much better than the first time. One thing that I noticed is that this is pretty finely ground coffee, and I would have expected the water to have held much longer. So what that tells me is that the filter is letting the water flow through pretty quickly. This kind of just almost as fast as I poured, it flowed through. And so I'm not sure how strong of a cup of coffee it's gonna make, but we're gonna go ahead and give it a shot here. Let's go ahead and taste test this. It's tasty, but as I suspected, it is definitely brewing a pretty weak cup of coffee. If you like your coffee a little bit stronger, this might not be the option for you. Yeah, it honestly just kind of tastes like water. Hey, are we recording? Cool. So this is the back pocket pour over. Whew. So this is the back pocket pour over, AKA the Pourigami. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. Look, the packaging is kind of cool. I love this design. Just minimal packaging, no plastic, just really well done. Pre-wet the filter so that you don't have a paper taste. So what I really like about this one is the fact that I can see into the cup. Unless I wildly mess up, you're not going to see me overflow this cup of coffee. Let's go ahead and give this a shot. That's about as good of a cup of coffee as you would expect at home. Cheers. One thing that's nice about having a filter is it keeps all of your grounds in one place. If you are camping in, let's say a national park and you need to pack out everything, and I mean everything, is you can just take your grounds right out with your filter. Stick it in a Ziploc bag for your trash and you're on your way. So that does it for the non-disposable pour over options. I think, in my honest opinion, there's a clear winner here. Moving on to the next category, the French press category. So we have 3 options laid out for you. We have kind of a traditional French press. We also have this really interesting option, which is just an attachment for your Jetboil, and you can turn your Jetboil right into a French press. I'm really excited about this one. And then the third option, we have this AeroPress Go. It gets raving reviews for the quality of coffee that it makes. One thing that I'm a little concerned about was just its price point, but we're gonna put it to the test. We're gonna see if the quality of coffee is as good as everybody says. Stay tuned. I am a huge fan of the French press. Another great option. This is going to be no different than a cup of coffee you make at home. You just definitely have to trade off the higher quality. You have to trade off a little bit of the size inside of your pack. Oh yeah, that's incredible. This on the trail is totally worth it. One heck of a cup of coffee. That's amazing. So, okay, a couple things that I really like about this. A, I pack my Jetboil when I'm backpacking anyway. To only have to bring a small additional contraption to be able to make French press level, quality coffee, this is incredible. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that this is by far the hottest cup of coffee that I have had out of any of these options. This is the cup. This is really just a spectacular option for you in the backcountry. So I'm not exactly sure if the AeroPress fits into like the French press category of coffee. I mean, it says press in the name. It maybe sits in its own category. Let's try it. Honestly, it looks a little intimidating. The instructions. This may take a while. I don't know what to do. Am I ready for this? I think that I'm gonna have to do some homework. What we should have is an espresso style brew. Now we're going to go ahead and give that a shot. It's okay. I wouldn't necessarily say that this is espresso style. It's not bad. Just my overall thoughts on the AeroPress in general is it's a lot of plastic and it's a lot of things that I don't think you really need in the backcountry. The quality in taste is not so superior that I would pack all of this. So for me, this wouldn't necessarily make it into my pack. That's just me. Maybe there are some of you out there that really love the AeroPress. Please just add in the comments what you think about the AeroPress. This is my assessment. I'd love to know why you love it. For me, this really isn't hitting the mark. Okay, so we just tried the French press, the Java press. We tried the attachment for the Jetboil, and then we tried the AeroPress. And so just looking at these 3 options, I have to say, look at the similarity between these 2 containers. They both are almost identical. They both make almost the identical cup of French press coffee. The nice thing about this is you're already packing it, you're already bringing it. If you are car camping or backcountry camping and you need to make food at the same time while you're making coffee, that may be why you want to bring, both of these items, but really this is going to come down to space in your pack and what you can fit. If you're hiking alone, I think that the Jetboil attachment is an incredible option, or if it's you and one other person. If you're hiking with much more people, then maybe you can split the weight. You can bring the added French press as well. So for me, the options come down to these two, and in my opinion, there's a clear winner. I've been drinking so much coffee. So this is something that I've used so many times, and it's such a fantastic option for quality coffee that I had to throw it in as an option. This is an espresso style coffee. It's a little bit bulkier, it's a little bit heavier, but personally, I have packed this on a stand-up paddleboarding backcountry camping trip just because I love the coffee that it makes so much. This is a very sturdy container. You don't have to worry about it getting crushed. You don't have to worry about having any waste. You don't have to worry about filters. Really the only downsides is the size and the weight. There's just something about the reverse gravity coffee. Whatever, it's good. Ooh, I still have had way too much coffee today. So if you're going to be backcountry camping, chances are you're going to be bringing a ultralight pot with a self-removing lid. We're gonna get you on the last and final option, coffee for the minimalist, Cowboy Coffee. Let's go ahead and let's jump right in. First thing you're gonna wanna do, take your pot, go ahead and get it on your Jetboil or your camp stove, whatever you use to cook food. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start heating up some water. We're gonna go ahead and grind some coffee beans because for Cowboy Coffee, better to have coarse beans, and you'll see why. You may get some grounds in your cup, but that's okay. This is really just the minimalist way of being able to get a nice cup of coffee out on the trail. All right, so I didn't let it sit long enough. If you let it sit long enough, all of these grounds are gonna work its way to the bottom.